Mark was an amazing young man. He was my baby, the youngest of my three children, and very selfless young man. Obviously, the day he died, he stood up in the direct line of fire 3 different times that day, gave his life to save his teammates. He was trying out for a professional soccer team in Colorado, very athletic, had an amazing sense of humor, was always keeping things lighthearted and fun. And I missed that young man very much, but about 2.5 weeks before he was killed, he sent this amazing email. It was the last letter that we would receive from him, and it was supposed to go to just a few family and friends, and literally this letter has impacted millions and millions of lives around the world. And I would encourage your listeners to read the whole thing at our website at americasmightywarriors.org. But I'll start with just the beginning of the letter. It's a long letter, so we don't have time to read the whole thing. But he starts out, "Glory is something that some men chase, and others find themselves stumbling upon, not expecting it to find them. Either way, it is a noble gesture that one finds bestowed upon them. My question is, when does glory fade away and become a wrongful crusade, or an unjustified means which consumes one completely? I've seen war. I've seen death, the sorrow that encompasses your entire being as a man breathes his last. I can only pray and hope that none of you will ever have to experience some of these things I've seen and felt here." And he goes on to describe what he saw in Ramadi. You can read how it changed him being over there, and how he talks about the Iraqi people and the difference that we're making there. And he ends that letter with, "To my family and friends, do me a favor. Pass on the kindness, the love, the precious gift of human life." And he talks in that letter about doing more random acts of kindness, how we could change our world. It is a letter filled from one extreme to the other of emotions and of life. And again, amazing, absolutely amazing letter, and was blessed that that was the last correspondence that we have that reflected so much of who Mark was and what he stood for and what he believed in.
So those were, in a sense, you know, your baby. You say he was your baby, his sort of final words to you and your family. Little did you know the world would hear his words. And, you know, all these years later, after he lost his life so incredibly bravely, when you were, I don't know, you tell me, were you watching the coverage of Ramadi? I mean, at what point? I understand when you saw the moment that black ISIS flag flying over the city in which your son saved others and died doing that, was what, gut-wrenching for you, I imagine.
Yeah, it was definitely gut-wrenching, and we've seen a process here. We've watched what ISIS is doing. We watched them move on Ramadi. We were told, you know, it looked like Ramadi could fall, and then when I saw that black flag flying actually over Ramadi, it was sickening to know that that was the place that my son shed his blood. That's where his last place that he walked, gave everything, believed in what we were doing over there, and now it's in the hands of the terrorists. And I believe that a big part of that is because we don't have policies in place to be successful over there. I don't feel like our administration wants to do that. Obviously, from some of the flippant comments of, well, you don't need to set your hair on fire and things like that, that we continue to see repeated over and over and over.
General Martin Dempsey, let me just play that for those who've not seen this.
The city itself is, it's not symbolic in any way. It's not been declared, you know, part of the caliphate on one hand, or central to the future of Iraq. But we want to get it back. I mean, the issue here is not brick and mortar. It's about defeating ISIL. So, as I said, this is, I would much rather that Ramadi not fall, but it won't be the end of a campaign. Should it fall, we got to get it back.
He said Ramadi is the city is not symbolic. Debbie, how'd you take that?
Again, I felt like I'd been betrayed. I felt like it was a sucker punch to my stomach. How they could say not symbolic, not significant, when so much, not just my son's blood, but so many other died over there. So many of our troops lost body parts over there and were wounded. And it's very significant, very symbolic. Ramadi mattered enough to them to stay in the fight there, and Ramadi matters to those families and to all of our troops who sacrificed greatly there. And that
he did apologize? Did he reach out to you?
He did. I did receive a letter from him, and then the next day I received a phone call as well, and he did apologize.